Hi everybody, Gabrielle here. I am back, here to bring you a reading for Divine Feminine. We're going to do something different. I am using the Animal Tarot deck and then the Psychic Tarot deck. So I put the cards down and I'm looking at the central card here that's grabbing my attention. Throat chakra. And then I started hearing one of my favorite songs, right? The color purple is like, it's funny. That book was and movie was so impactful on so many levels to so many people. It's like, without being blasphemous or sacrilege, it's like, it could be like a minor gospel, so to speak. No, and I really do mean that in the most humble way possible. But there were so many lessons that were learned through the visual storytelling, right? But anyway, and the soundtrack was just as pivotal, right? And so I literally started hearing God is trying to tell you something. But what I heard was a girl singing, "Speak, Lord, speak to me." That. And I really do feel like that's where the Divine Feminines are. Like, even as I'm talking to y'all, I'm emotional. I feel the emotions. Like, we've drawn quite a few interesting cards. Mental conflict, the crown chakra, base chakra, shadow, throat chakra, deception, and envy. We've drawn dragonfly, gecko, and zebra. We've gazelle, and a thoroughbred horse, right? And a Saint Bernard. While I was shuffling the cards in the Animal Tarot, what jumped out was the Emperor, right? But he came out reversed. But I put him back. It's like, okay, there's a message in that, in itself. You ever have so much you want to say, but you don't know where to begin? That's kind of the energy I feel for the Divine Feminines, For so many who are in a good, positive space for the most part, there's always more shadow work to do, right? Always another personal rock to turn over. Always another facet of yourself you have to have a showdown with. Mm, mm, mm. There are messages trying to get through, but ungroundedness is playing a part in why you're not receiving them. It runs the gambit, right? The mental conflict is causing blockages in the crown and the base. Why? Because a confrontation with the shadow, with yourself. Looking at the card straight down, 2, mental conflict, 18, right? That's a 9, that's an ending of that, that's the shadow, right? And then we have 5 of summer, dragonfly, right? Focus upon the fact that God loves you and always has the highest of intentions for you. A positive outlook makes it easier to recover from life's little difficulties so that you can move onward and upward. The fact that the Emperor jumped out, I'm going to go on and say, right? Either this is a conflict you're battling with, issues dealing and surrounding with your divine counterpart, or this is issues and problems arising from you not knowing how to step into your masculine energy. And maybe there's a misnomer about what that means. And that's where some of the struggle comes from. It's funny, right? I'm looking at the 7 of this envy, right? Listen to me, 7 of envy. This deception and envy card, right? And the stripes going down remind me of like the water symbol, right? Almost like Aquarian energy. Could be. You know how I am about these books. I only open them when I need to. I know. But yeah. I feel like You're unsettled. Like, there's something ain't quite right. Like, there's a reason for the mental conflict. There truly is. Excuse me. There is a reason for it. And if it's not a blockage in the crown, it's because you're receiving messages that tell you something ain't quite right. But it's not clear. And if this isn't your shadow, maybe it's because you're seeing someone else's shadow. And it's like they put on a face of one hand and show you a mask, but you're seeing through the mask underneath, right? Because look, there's a mask. Can you see? Or is the glare in your way? See? Under the mask is deception and envy. Look. This person comes through around you lighthearted. They try through with the communication, but there's always something. It always leads to something else, right? It's never smooth. It's always there's something else under the surface. It's like that question you never want to ask, it's like, what else is there, right? What else is next, so to speak? Because these people or this person, it's just, it doesn't work. There's something off, and maybe it is what they say, how they say, or what they don't say. Omission. This is powerful. St. Bernards, looking up at this first line, are loyal, right? Ten of Spring. Working far too hard and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others and take some time to play and enjoy life. Right. Now, if you're going through this level of mental conflict and you're feeling all of this, then maybe you do need a voice of reason, a friend in your corner, someone who is supportive, not enabling, but supportive around you right now, someone who will give you sound advice, someone whom you truly trust, like really, on a soul level. And just looking at that row, it's like, yeah, there's two tens, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the 10 of spring, right? Two tens, that's a 1, right? 11. It's like you want to interact, you want to be relaxed, you want all of these things, but there's something off. Something deep in your mind is just not gelling. Interesting. And it's like here, the sensing of the shadow side of this person, the things they say, the lies, the looks, it's like it makes you want to run the opposite direction, like you're too good for this. Thoroughbred horse. Get ready for progress to speed up. The situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and make your decisions quickly. Exactly. Your logical mind is what's wrong. You don't see the heart chakra at all out here, right? You don't see the solar plexus. You don't see the third eye. But that's a lot of chakra energy. I feel like you're, I don't want to say gut, but it's like, trust yourself. There is a lot of air energy out here. Next to the dragonfly is the gecko. It says, be assertive, believe in yourself. Don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. That's the 7 of spring. There's some divine help here. I have 7 in the major arcana, right? Triumph. And there's another 7 underneath. Wow. That's 4 7s. And there's the solar plexus under power. Interesting. Wow. You know what's right for you. You know what you want. Like, you know what you're being guided to do. You have to go the route of Maya Angelou in her poetical phrasing of, if a person reveals themselves, believe them the first time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying people can't change, but I've always felt that a person growth is real. Growth is a self-inspired thing. So anything that is perceived as change is because the person wanted to achieve that level of personal growth. Not changing for a result. You know? It lacks authenticity. Change versus growth. And what you're sensing, what you've experienced, is a quick change artist. That's what it feels like. Someone who is so adaptable, it makes you question who they truly are. You don't know where one thing starts and the other begins. Looking at the zebra, right? And that one of the beautiful designs of their pattern, that in a herd, they look like a massive blob. This person is so adept at concealment. It's like, wow, who are you really? I see all of this leaping energy, overcoming hurdles and obstacles is what this reminds me of. The gazelle says, which is the 9 of spring, you've worked hard and what you've created is impressive and worthy of protecting. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry, you'll get through them, just as you have in the past. If you had experiences with people who were not vibing on this level, excuse me one second. This is what you want, right? It says King of Summer, warm-hearted, devoted, loving, faithful. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. See? Elephant spirit. Justice, Libra energy. Fair decisions will be made after all evidence is reviewed impartially, no emotion. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. That's what you want. But it's tough. It's tough. There are lies here. I feel like I do. The way the seven is, right? The deception and envy is looking here at the throat chakra. It's like there are lies here. I feel like someone has a double life, and you sense it. By day there's someone, by night there's someone else. Who are you dealing with? Or is this you? Are you coming across as some sort of Jekyll and Hyde, divine feminine? Are you by day Clark Kent and by night Superman? You know? Who was it? Scarecrow. Scarecrow was like a scientist by day and a monster by night, right? Are you David Banner? Are you the Hawk? Are you dealing with someone who has a pretty ferocious alter ego? Is what I'm sensing, and I just got chills on that. Someone has a ferocious alter ego. There's some major conversations that need to be had. Major. And I feel like each time you may have attempted to bridge this conversation, you were met with even more lies, more unnecessary emotional manipulation is really what that feels like. It really does. There are so many nines out here vibrationally. And so it's like, okay, there's finale to this. There's closure to this. Spirit chills there. Thank you. I have 5 for the throat chakra, 5 is summer, and balance is a 5 when you add it. So there's major changes coming. So many shifts. Yeah. Quadruple sevens out here. I mean, there's a lot of energy shifting and changing and wrapping. This is the home stretch. The home stretch. Just keep it under wraps for a little longer. Whatever it is, clarity's coming. 2020, right? Lots of people have been making references to 2020 vision, things being very clear. And my initial interpretation was the veil is gone. It's gone. And when we think about what a veil is, right? Think about the bridegroom of Christ, right? And the preparation and being ready for him to come in and take you where you're supposed to be, right? For them to unveil you, for you to now see with your preternatural vision, for discernment on all levels. The veil. I see that as those who have been chosen, you will clearly know you have been. I feel as though your missions will become clearer and clearer and clearer, and to walk on the path without being distracted. It's really when I visualize a bride and her groom lifts the veil and for the first time looks upon the true beauty of the person who is to be their wife. The veil is pulled back, but it still provides obscured vision in the peripheral sense. Whereas all those who might have been even partially visible now fade to nothing. And you're only able to focus on your groom. And in this instance, we are speaking of Christ and the mission you are on at his behest. To be a disciple, to be chosen. But discernment, when it's new, and you're fighting off emotions that are clearly not even really out here, but the absence thereof lets you know the significance, of it. Excuse me 1 second. So I'm looking for the information where it not breaks down the cards. Let's see. Spring, right? Should be full energy, right? Should be air, right? I'm looking. No, spring is fire, which I should have known by the color, but I didn't want to assume. Yeah, so we have the 7 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands present, right? Interesting. Summer is water, so cups. Winter, I'm always surprised. Air, okay, that makes sense. Earth, summer, spring, fall. So fall has to be earth, which makes sense. So we have air, fire, and water out here. Okay. Interesting. Just looking for consistencies real quick. So air, of course, the blue. Chakra cards are black, but we know that. No, for real, that's all we got. We got air and the major arcanas, which are outlined in black. So interesting. So pretty consistent. Very interesting. You have to stay focused, Divine Feminine. There is a distraction here. All this air energy. You made the right choice is what I'm seeing now that I'm looking at these from the perspective of the tarot aspect. 5 of Summer, 5 of Cups. Right? Focus on God. Focus on God. Don't allow someone to drag you back. Do you understand? There's a reason why there's an absence of emotions. Just remember that. Mm-hmm. Hmm. No misplaced loyalties. Okay? Just because I'm looking at the 10 of Spring. Look at the Saint Bernard. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I mean? Save yourself. Meditation. Meditation would be really good. If you're working with your crown chakra, you can pause it here and just focus. Take a screenshot. Just focus. You can wear this color. You can print it out, whatever. But focus. Meditate. There are meditations on YouTube that will give you all the visuals and colors simultaneously. If you're working with the base chakra, focus. Meditate. Ground. Center. Stabilize. Those are the words that came to me looking at this. Ground. Center. Stabilize. Flourish. Expand. Receive. open, blossom. If you're working with the throat chakra, it's funny, right? I'm looking at the throat chakra card and I'm getting consider the all. I have no idea. I'm sorry, they're trying to tell me something. I'm trying to figure it out. Wow. I'm sorry. I guess I needed throat chakra work because I'm just stuck. I apologize for my stomach. I'm about to eat. There's a major shift coming, Divine Feminine. Whether this is coming with yourself or with someone else. But either way, there is a masculine, feminine showdown. Of sorts. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Interesting. Shadow work. Doesn't really matter. It does matter, but there's triumph. Is why I say that. There's victory coming for you. Stick to your guns, whatever that is for you. Find someone you can truly talk to. Get some sound advice. I say seek God for your advice, but He uses people. They use people. She uses people. So, speak to whom you're guided to, and then listen with a discerning ear. You'll know if the Spirit of the Most High uses that person. Their words will send chills through your body. You'll know. Thank you guys for your time, your energy, your loves, your support. Thank you for your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. They are greatly appreciated. Thank you for your private bookings, your donations. They are greatly appreciated. You can find me at intuitivedownloads19@gmail.com. Busy Bee Digital on both Instagram and Facebook. Light and love. Bye.